Hey, it is Dawn Nicole here, and today we're talking business capability statements. What is it? Why do you need it? When do you need it? And how do I create one effectively that stands out? So listen, I'm Dawn Nicole, CEO of Queen City Women in Business, and arguably the number one question I get is how do I write a business capability statement and when will I use it? So for starters, your business capability statement is the equivalent of your resume when you were an employee. The business capability statement is a snapshot, a concise, clear, but powerful, effective summary that describes the key points of your business. Okay, so we're going to get into that today. Now, the next question is, when do I need it? So this is something you're going to need as you look to pursue bigger business with major organizations, whether you're in the private sector, working with corporations, whether you wish to work with local and state government or federal government. All of them have one thing in common. They don't want to go through pages and pages and pages of your website. They want a simple, succinct, concise story about who you are, and your business capability statement is the summary, the sizzle statement that does that, which is why it needs to be compelling and specialized, not generalized. We're going to talk about that. Now, typically, your business capability statement is on an 8x11, so a narrow page. You can use a Word doc. I personally use PowerPoint. In fact, at the end of this, I'm going to give you a clickable link where you can just download a template, You can download the template and just really reuse what I give you here to make it simple if that's helpful for you. But when and why? So why is this important? Oftentimes procurement managers, buying partners, purchasing managers, supplier diversity teams, whatever you want to call them, they all go by different titles depending on the context in the company, but they are looking for a quick, succinct statement to kind of say yes or no. Is this who I'm looking for? Is this what I want? And they're looking for certain things. They're looking for specialties, but they're also looking for unique, diversified certifications. Are you a woman business owner, a minority business owner, Asian, right? LGBT, so on and so forth. So those certifications need to stand out on your business capability statement. All right. The next thing that we need to mention about your business capability statement is that you will be uploading this when you start to enter your business into registration portals. Now, registration portals, very quickly, I'm not going to get into that too deeply here, but once you start going to work with corporations, let's say you want to work with Fifth Third Bank or Bank of America or Wells Fargo, right? You're going to need to go to their supplier diversity portal and you're going to have to put in some time and some data, right? And your business capability statement is likely going to be one of the things that they request. You'll also need your business capability statement when you go to those vendor affairs, right? Those vendor events. In fact, you want to have several of them printed out as a best practice. Listen, you came to get the business, so act like you're ready. All right, so no more preaching. Let's get into how can you have a clean, perfectly put together business capability statement like such, the one that I have in front of you. Now, this is certainly not the most fancy. They get super fancy with pictures and such, but I like to use the white space to emphasize who we are. So in this example, I've redacted some of the information, but this is the Queen City Women in Business capability statement. Let's get into this. Okay. So I'm going to put this back together very quickly to explain how I did it. So Section 1 is the metadata about your business. What is the name of your company? What is your business address? What is the contact information, right? And that should include your website, your email, your phone number, and what type of business is this? They're not necessarily looking for S Corp versus C Corp or LLC, but is this a woman-owned small business? Is this a minority owned small business? Is this a veteran-owned small business? LGBT small business? So persons with disability, right? So you want to make sure to list that because many of these major programs have supplier diversity programs. And so they're specifically looking to zone in on that quickly, which is why you want to put that into your Section 1. Then I go on here to add any certifications. I want those to pop out at the top, and then a cage number, which is associated with the federal government, right? So SAMS.com will give you a cage number if you're registered with them, and then a Dun & Bradstreet number. Now, Dun & Bradstreet number kind of lost the sizzle. They're going to be mad that I said this, but they're not as important. In 2015, when I first started the business, it was super important. You had a DMB number, not so much today, but if you have it, list it. Okay, so that is your section 1. But you'll notice you still have a bunch of white space. So take that as an opportunity to perhaps put a logo and specialties. Okay, again, this is all in the top section, and we're going to call this section 1 and 2. And you'll notice in section 2, we've got our logo very nice and clean. And then we got 3 specialties that, boom, we want to pop out as soon as they look at our capability statement. Number 1, we've certified diverse woman-owned business supplier resource. We want you to know we specialize, right, in certified diverse woman-owned businesses. Number 2, we've got leading business diversity training and development programs. And number 3, we've got business directory vendor access to these women business owners. So we're trying to just really jump out to say, do business with us. We are in the business services industry. And so that's what you want to say. Whatever your claim to fame, your specialty is, as clear as you can say it, put it there. Okay. Now, we'll call this section 3. The next session should really be the summary. Okay. So give me a summary. Who are you? So in this case, we put, who is Queen City Women in Business? And we were very clear that we're a membership-based supplier sourcing and development platform committed to connecting supplier diversity teams and procurement leaders to diverse supplier talent pipelines of certified women businesses faster. So get right to it, be clear about what you do, and use that summary section to really succinctly describe who you are. Now, if I put nothing else at this point, I think we've already wowed people who are looking for us in the corporate space, right? They can see our metadata, who we are, they can see our specialties and our logo for brand recognition, and they can see our summary. But we're not finished. Now for the next section, the good stuff. All right, so key differentiators. What is special about you, right? There may be competitors. We do have competitors, like supplier.io is a major competitor. We're not on that scale, but we're able to call out how we are different. So use your key differentiator section to really call out. In our case, we said, hey, we are a certified diverse woman-owned small business ourselves, right? So guess what? If they're already looking to sort of check the box, they can start with us, and then we'll introduce them to hundreds of other diverse women-owned businesses. All right. We also specialize in sourcing women-owned small businesses. You get access to over 2,000 plus WBE suppliers when you work with us. Easy to navigate public business directory, all industries with a nationwide reach. So you can get the gist of it. This is where you're listing out your key differentiators. Now, it doesn't stop there. In our next one, we then talk about key impacts and outcomes. What are the key impacts and outcomes that you caused? Meaning, because you exist, what happens? What have you caused? Not just results, but outcomes are about what happens, right? Because you exist. What happens because you showed up and someone went and did something? What do you cause people to do? This is really what people are after when they talk about outcomes. So we talked about how we cause a rapid response for partners. We're able to fulfill our supplier diversity partners' request 50% faster because we're smaller, we're more nimble and lean, and we can really connect very quickly with our vendors to do some matching to big corporate partners. So we have a rapid response approach, right? We have exclusive top placement of long-term specialty talent, certification improvement. We can demonstrate that when members sign up with us, they get certified faster, right? We've been able to build certification partnerships, which are important because we create an ecosystem. So these are just some things you should call out. And listen, this is going to be a work in progress. So even though you have this information here, don't feel like you can't continue to refine. Every time I look at even our own key impacts, I'm like, man, I could make this a bit more simpler, right? Like, say it like a second grader. So again, this is going to be a case where when you say it like a second grader, it's going to really resonate, okay? But let's not stop there. Let's also talk about what comes next, your NAICS codes. NAICS codes are extremely important. Put those on the page. Make sure that they're big and bold and clear. You can see that ours are very big and bold. Now, NAICS stands for North American Industry Classification System codes. They are used in the US, Canada, and Mexico, and they are basically used to determine what category you fall into. And people actually, a lot lot of these procurement officers and purchasing managers are looking at NAICS codes to make their decisions. So make sure that it's bright and it's clear. All right. So quick recap. So far in section 1, we talked about the metadata, which is the data about your company. We talked about your specialties and your logo for brand recognition. We talked about your summary. We talked about key differentiators. How are you different than everybody else? We talked about key impacts and the outcomes your business causes because you exist, what happens. We talked about your NAICS codes. Now we're going to talk about your past performance. Who have you done business with? My friends, it is time to show off. Put it all there, okay? So put the company logo, and then if you want to do a little blurb around how you worked with them or what you delivered or what the context was, you can put that as well. Listen, I know a lot of people who in their business capability statement, they just put the logos for past performance. I tend to like giving some context so that it is helpful, all right? So finally, and by the way, let me just go back and say this. Sometimes I have women business owners who are new and they are like, Dawn Nicole, I don't even have a past performance yet. I don't know what to do. Here's what I would say to you. If you have come from an industry as an employee or an independent contractor, let's say you worked for 25 years for a bank. Let's say you did special projects, special volunteer work. My friend, list that. It was still you. You are the common denominator. You caused the result, the outcome. You put your hands in it. You have the experience and the relationship. Show that here if you don't have anything else to show. And you have a great track record. And these are people that you could call who are referenceable. They would give you good references. Make sure you give yourself credit for the skills and the trades and the relationship that you built with those previous companies. Put that there, okay? All right. Finally, in closing, what we like to do at this point, you've said enough. If they want to do business with you, they certainly have enough data, but we like to do a call to action at the end and say something like this. Hey, we're currently inviting procurement and supplier diversity teams to become partners. And then we close with our information. Contact us at www.qcwib.com. So my friends, this is how you put together a simple, clean, yet highly effective, convincing and compelling capability statement that will get you noticed. All right. I hope that this was helpful. If it was, like this video, share this video. And again, that's kind of everything you need to know about a business capability statement. And if you do like this template, I am going to give you a link in the description so you could click on it and download this template and use it for yourself. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.